Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Juan the Yarn Addict and I'd like to welcome you to episode 100 of my podcast where we talk about all things yarn, and I have tons of things to share with you and talk about. Today is September 12th, 2025, and I'd like to offer a huge hello and welcome to anyone new or anyone returning to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out today's podcast episode. In this episode, we begin with Coffee Talk. It's the admin portion of the show. From there, we jump into finished objects, also known as FOs. From there, we dive into the whips, also known as works in progress. For this episode, I have one acquisition to share with you, and then we're going to get into the replay treats. So I have treats going out and one special treat coming in for this particular podcast episode because it's our Happy 100. From there, I have two pieces of Happy Mail to share with you, and at the very end of our podcast, I have a segment called Reflections. So I'm going to take a moment or two and talk about my experience here on YouTube, having just recorded 100 podcast episodes. So if any of this is of interest to you, please sit back and enjoy the podcast. Before we begin, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, as I always would definitely appreciate the support. So with that, let's jump into Coffee Talk, and the question of the hour is, what is on the mug? And for this episode, I pulled out the Dragon Tumbler. Ooh. It's so nice we see it twice. The blues and the purples. Absolutely gorgeous. Gifted to me by a viewer of the channel. But as I always say, it's what's on the inside that matters most. And on the inside here, I have Dunkin' Donuts Hazelnut Coffee with Caramel Macchiato Creamer. It's so good. I talk about it all the time. This is my second cup in the last hour, and I'm almost finished, so I'm going to leave that sit right there while we get into the rest of all the things. Before I jump into the bullet points of Coffee Talk, I just want to put it out there that in the show notes, you will find links to places outside of YouTube where you can find me, which include Etsy, Ravelry, you name it, Facebook, it's all in there. So please check out the show notes. I will also include links to places that I talk about in the podcast. So once again, check the show notes for all the things, okay? So I have 3 bullet points for Coffee Talk. We have Taco Tuesday, we have tutorial releases, and then the summer mail, the big boxy cardie. So I'll start with Taco Tuesday. Just this past Tuesday, Season 2, Week 5 was released. We did a live, we pulled the cards, we did all the things. So for the last few weeks, I've been sharing the cards with the viewers upon request. So this episode is no different. So in no particular order, we have 5 cards here, and I'm going to read them off to you guys. The first challenge here that I have is the scarf challenge for an asymmetrical scarf. Create an asymmetrical scarf using any stitch, any color, any size. So it's pretty open, just make sure that it's asymmetrical. Super fun. The next challenge here that I have here is Holiday Challenge Motif. Create a motif for the holiday of your choice. Use any color or any stitch. It could be simple or complex. Have fun. So there's the second one. The third one here is the whip challenge. So pick a whip, any whip, and complete it by the next Taco Tuesday. If you don't have a whip, start a new one. So I have tons of whips. I don't know about you, but I have tons of whips. And so I don't need to start a new one. I will definitely finish one of the ones that I have. So there's that one. The next one here is the Team Color Challenge. Create and make using your favorite team colors. Any team, any size. So this is going to be a lot of fun. There's lots of teams. I mean, you can pull from storybooks, sports teams, you name it. So this is a lot of fun too. Last but certainly not least, viewer's choice for a hot pad challenge. So make a hot pad using a JTYA stitch tutorial, any color, any size. So the way that this works is during the live, I ask the viewers to sound off with ideas that I can put down on a sheet of paper, and I will number them. And ideally, I would go from like 1 to about 50 or so. And then once I have about 50 options, choices, I will reach out to one of the mods and say, choose a number between 1 and 50 something. And they'll choose a number, and whatever number they choose will actually be one of the challenges for the week. So this is that, the hot pad challenge. So hopefully you guys have started at least one, or maybe not, I don't know. I have one completed already, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. And of course, it's not the whip one. So including the whip, okay, fine. I have 2 in progress. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all 5, but I'm going to be very interested to see how many I'm actually able to do. So there's that. Let's move on to tutorial releases. So I released a tutorial a day or so ago for the offset V-stitch shawl. I'm actually wearing it. And this is one of many ways that you can wear this. So you can wear it across your back and over your shoulders. You can wrap it around your neck. You can wear it like a hug. It's completely up to you. These shawls are very versatile. The yarn that I used for this shawl was Caron Big Cakes in the colorway Grape Jelly. 603 yards. I used a 6mm US letter J hook. And for the very last row here, I did 3 half double crochets inside of the V's. Now, this pattern works up super, super easy. It's a 2-row setup with a 1-row repeat. Super, super easy, fast, fun, and all the things. So you can use any weight of yarn. You can go smaller with your yarn. You can go thicker. Completely up to you. Very versatile. So please, if you haven't checked it out already, please check that out. I would appreciate the support. Okay, so the third bullet point I have here is the summer mail, the big boxy cardies. So the last and final week was just yesterday. We did a live. So for those of you guys who are not aware, I did a summer make-along live. Every Thursday I would go live and I would give the recipe to the viewers piece by piece for 4 straight weeks. And just yesterday we released week 4 and it was for the final touches. So I'm just going to show you my finished cardigan. It is finished. Actually, I'm going to take the scarf off. And I'm going to show you my big boxy cardie, which is my very first finished object. So we're going to segue right on into finished objects. And it's huge. It's a lot of yarn. A lot of yarn. So the yarn that I used for my big boxy cardie was Premier. So I used Premier Puzzle in the colorway Backgammon, and I ran it together with Red Heart Super Saver in Soft Navy. I'll give you a close-up of the colorway there. Let's just pick that off there. There we go. Super, super nice. All right. And I installed buttons and pockets, but no hood. I did give the recipe for those of you guys who wanted to create a hood on your cardigan. But I'm going to show you my pockets before I put it on. So I have deep pockets here. That's the one side. Those are the buttons. Those are mahogany wooden buttons that I ordered from Amazon. And this is the other side. It's a dark color in general, so it's kind of hard to see, but super, super nice. And the way that I did my pockets was, and I believe I started this pocket on the live yesterday. So I did an anchor row. I anchored my stitches onto the cardigan, and then I went back and forth. And then what I did was I whip stitched the sides using the same yarn as the cardigan. So super, super nice. All right, so let me go ahead and put this on. All right, here goes nothing. All right. Big boxy cardie. So there are my pockets. Super, super nice. My sleeves. I absolutely love it. Let me come back here and show you what this looks like from afar. Now, traditionally, I don't add buttons to my cardigans. I just traditionally use pockets to kind of hold it in like this. But I just wanted to show everybody how to do the buttons. So I think, I'm not sure, I think I'm actually going to take my buttons off now that the make-along is over, and I'm just going to leave it like this. So I'll just show you the top because I'm kind of tall. And I will show you my ribbing here. Super, super nice. It's 5 rows. So for week 4, we go over this ribbing right here. We go over the buttons, and then we go over the hood. And of course, the pockets, which I absolutely love. I love my pockets. They're nice and deep. So, yeah, I think I'm going to wear my big boxy cardie for the rest of the podcast. It's so nice, and it's very warm. It's heavy. It's perfect for winter. It's perfect for those chilly fall nights. I absolutely love this. And this cardie has inspired me to go ahead and make another one in the near future running only one yarn. So traditionally, when I make cardigans, I run 2 yarns together the entire time, each and every time. So far, I have not made a cardigan running just one yarn. So I will be excited to try that. So, all right. So the next finished object that I have, and actually this week I only have 3 finished objects. So I have the big boxy cardi, which was predominantly my focus. I needed to make sure that I completed this because I needed to get back onto the Boggy blanket mission. So I'll talk about that in just a moment. So the first one here is, yes, you're seeing it correctly. We have pink. I found it in stash. I keep finding these random skeins just under and over and all the things. So I pulled it out and I said, you know what? I'm just going to work with it because I know that there's a lot of children down in Florida who love pink, and I can't, not work with it because they like the color. So anyway, this is the offset V-stitch back and forth. Actually, no, this is V-stitch, not offset. This is V-stitch back and forth. And I just picked yarns from stash. I busted through the stash. Super, super nice. Rectangular. And for the border here, I did twins in a stitch on the sides here. So it's 2 double crochets. And then the next round I went into each stitch with a treble. And then for the third round, I went into each stitch with a single crochet. Super, super easy. And then in the corners here, I just went around. So we have a rounded corner here. Super nice. Okay. I gotta tell you, I love doing V-stitches. Super fast. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Love it. All right, so that is the first one of our finished objects. And the next one here is my Bernat blanket corner to corner. So there's a little story to this. I will tell you in just a moment, but first let me show you this. If you're seeing the colors and you've been around, you kind of know the story, but I'm going to tell you guys anyway. So here it is. Bernat blanket corner to corner. Super fast, fun, and easy. So this measures 40 inches by 40 inches. This is square. Very, very nice. And for the border, I did a single crochet, chain 2 single crochet, just to give it like an edging, which is very nice. Now, I have these Bernat blanket Ogos I got from Ollie's last year, I think it was, and I picked up a whole bunch of them because for one donut, I think it was like $2.99. Actually, for one Ogo, not a donut. It was $2.99, so I bought a whole bunch of them, not realizing that the colors just didn't jive with me. These 2 yellows side by side just rubbed me the wrong way, but I said to myself, you know what? Eventually, I'm going to need to work with it. So now is that time. I said, well, I don't know exactly what color to put with these 3 colors, but you can't go wrong with white. So when in doubt, just throw white onto the project. Now, I worked this up with a 10 millimeter Susan Bates hook. 10 millimeters. And I did that because the Ogo seemed to be a little thicker than a super bulky number 6, in my opinion. It was very, very thick. So working it up with a 10 millimeter Susan Bates hook was perfect. And so that is the second finished object. All right. Now, traditionally, I need to do 3 Boggy Creek blankets each week to make my goal of 50 by December 31st. That's kind of my goal. I did extra blankets the last few weeks just in case I got behind with any of my projects or I needed to focus on a particular project and I just ran out of time. This week was that week. So I needed to make sure that I finished my cardigan. So I took time away from the usual time that I would be working on Boggy Creek blankets for the cardigan. And for those of you guys who do not know what Boggy Creek is, it is a camp in Eustis, Florida for chronically ill children. So we make blankets for those children in Florida. And so they have size requirements and all the things. I'll put all of that in the show notes for you guys if you're interested. But I believe many of you guys already know what this is. So I'm trying to get to my goal of 50. As I mentioned previously, I already had 26 blankets completed. I wasn't sure last time. I said 23 or 26. I had 26 blankets completed. I reset the clock when I put out the Nana June's Blessing blanket, and I just wanted to start from the beginning and create 50 blankets and have those 50 done by December 31st. So this week I only have 2, which is fine because week 1 I had 5 blankets. Week 2 I had 4. Last week I had 3. Now I have 2. So I'm going to take one of the blankets from the prior weeks and bring it over to this week so that I still maintain an average of 3 or better each week. So right now I'm still on track, but I'm not going to let that get me down. I'm just going to pick myself back up and get 3 or more blankets done by next podcast. Okay? So with that, let's jump into works in progress. So for this podcast, for this episode, I have 3 works in progress. 2 are luck of the draw, and 1 I can't wait to get into. I'm super excited about this. Okay, so let's see here. This first one here is my luck of the draw, pique my interest, and it's being held in my squirrel bag, canvas bag. And let's pull it out. Week 6 of luck of the draw was just dropped yesterday morning. Yesterday was Thursday, September 11th, and my week 6 is on my project. My week 6 is green, and this is what my project looks like so far. Pique my interest, and all of the yarn here is Red Heart Super Saver, which is a medium 4-weight yarn, and I'm working this up with a 6mm US letter J hook. And I have all of my micro fringe on one side of the blanket. I call this micro fringe. It's super, super nice. I'm either going to sew in the ends, or I may amplify. No, actually, I'm going to sew in the ends, or put like an envelope border. I'm not sure yet. I'm still undecided on what I'm going to do. I may frame it, sew in the ends and then frame it in white, or I may just sew in the ends, or I may put on an envelope border. I'm not sure. So stay tuned. And so for those of you guys who haven't seen this yet, I do have little boards here. It's just a piece of cardboard from a box, and I took a Sharpie marker and I wrote down all of my information here. And so yeah, what I'm doing here, I wrote base as white. I mean, we all know what white looks like, but what I did was I numbered 1 through 5 because it's 5 colors and then a base. So my 5 colors, I just cut slits on the side of the cardboard here and then slid the yarn to its appropriate number that I wanted to give to it. And then I took a piece of tape and I taped the back to kind of hold the yarn in there and keep it from falling out. And then I wrote the name of the project up top there, and then directly under it, I wrote the size of the crochet hook because I'm very bad at remembering what size hook I used for what project. So 6mm prim hook. And then of course I wrote, I don't know why I would forget this because it's in the bag. However, Red Heart Super Saver, I wrote on the bottom here to remind me of the yarn that I'm using, although I can actually see it. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's fine. Okay, so there's that one. I can't wait for week 7 already. The next one here is Luck of the Draw in the greens. So it's being held in my canvas heart bag. Love that. And all the yarn in this bag are shades of green, and then my base is a deep dark charcoal gray. And I'll show you my storyboard here, or my color board. Luck of the Draw 12, and the base is dark charcoal. And the colorways here, and I'm just going to call out the names because it's all green, obviously. So we have jasmine green, and then jade. That's jade. And the next one here, the third one down, is guacamole. That's guacamole number 3. Number 4 here is called Green Lagoon, which is this one, Green Lagoon. And then this last one here is called Deep Forest. So I just did a gradient going from light to dark. And for this project, I'm doing a hat and a shawl. So here we are. Now, this is just a basic hat. And so for weeks 1 through 5, I used double crochet from the crown all the way down. For just this past week on, I shrank the stitches. So instead of doing double crochets, for the color, I'm doing half double crochets, and then for the base, a single crochet. I only need this to get to 12 inches before I'm finished. So I still have a little bit of a ways to go. I think that I can get all of the weeks on here now that I've shrunk the stitches. But once I get to 12 inches, I'm done, because it's going to be the perfect size for me to put on the hat and then fold it up and actually have a brim there. So I really love the contrast with that dark charcoal and the greens. I'm loving it. So the shawl is my offset V-stitch shawl. The tutorial dropped. I mentioned this already. Well, I'm doing it as luck of the draw as well. Ends included. So this is what it looks like so far. I don't think that it's going to grow to be incredibly large. So what I'm probably going to have to do is, after this luck of the draw is done, I'm going to continue working with random colors until it's completed. But what I may do to just separate luck of the draw to the rest of the shawl, I may do just 2 or 3 rows of the dark charcoal just to separate it from the rest, and then move forward with it. So we'll see how big it gets first, and then I'll decide. But super, super nice. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but just in case, all of the yarn is Loops and Threads impeccable yarn. And I also numbered my skeins just in case I lost the board. I'd still be able to work my luck of the draw until I found the board. So it's a thinner yarn than Red Heart Super Saver. Actually, it's thinner yarn than a lot of yarns. So they are suggesting a 5mm US letter H hook, which is the same hook suggestion that Lion Brand uses for Mandala, which is a DK weight yarn. So it's a light number 3, and they suggest a 5mm hook for that yarn. So if that gives you any idea as to how thin Impeccable is, I mean, it is a thinner 4-weight yarn. So just be mindful of that. And I am working this up with the 6mm US letter J hook. So we have a little bit of drape happening here. Whoops. Sorry about that. We do have a little bit of drape happening here. So I'm okay with that. But as for this, I'm working this up nice and tight. So I don't see drape at all. And I'm very happy with the way that this is looking. So very, very nice. All right. So I'm just going to put this off to the side. And I forgot to mention this earlier. For my Taco Tuesday, the one challenge that I am currently working on, I wanted to show it to you guys so that I had documented proof that I didn't just randomly pull out like a finished object and set it to the side for Taco Tuesday. So I am actively working on a whip, and I want to show you my progress right now so that when Tuesday comes around and I show it, you will definitely see the journey. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it up here really quick. So I'm working up this project here. This is my Nana June's Blessing Blanket. This is one of my whips, Nana June's Blessing Blanket. And I'm using the neons minus this color right here. So this color is sapphire blue, and this reddish neon color, it's like a reddish pink neon. It's called Diva Pink. And then the yellow here is Safety Yellow. And I brought the sapphire because it's attached. But then, as you may have already seen, I'm including Green Gecko onto the project because I think it would be a perfect complement. So I'm just going to continue repeating these colors until I get to 40 inches by 40 inches. So now that you've seen it in this state, hopefully by Tuesday, I will have 40 inches by 40 inches. So I wanted to make sure to show you guys that so you see the journey. All right. Okay. So that wraps up works in progress. And now we are moving on to the one acquisition that I have for this episode. And I am super excited to share this with you guys because a few days ago I took a day trip, like I took a road trip up to New York, and I just wanted to get away for a day. I went up there to meet a dear friend of mine, and we spent some time at a yarn shop. And it just so happened that while I was there, the owner was coming in with some fresh yarn straight out of a local yarn dyer's place. So I'm very excited to share this with you guys. So let me just move this out of the way. Give me one moment. Okay, so here it is. 1 and 2. So there's more, but this is to start with. So I'm going to give you a close-up. This is a custom dye, one of a kind. Absolutely gorgeous. Amazing. I can sit here and stare at this for such a long time. It doesn't have a name. I'm just going to call it aubergine because it is a deep, deep, dark eggplant purple. I love it. So the yarn is Jill Draper Makes, I'll just show you that. Jill Draper Makes Stuff Empire. And this is Aran weight, and it's 1,280 yards, 1,170 meters. So it's 1.7 pounds at 770 grams, and it's 100% Rambouillet wool. And you can find this yarn dyer online at jilldraper.com. I'll include that in the show notes. Okay, so it was so nice that I got it twice. So here's the second one. Same specs, same everything. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's very, very, I don't want to say heavy, but it's very present. These are my yarn babies. I left New York with twins. Super excited, and I immediately thought to myself that these colors need to be worked together. Beautiful. Now, I'm not going to run both together at the same time. I'm going to work a project using both of these colorways. So I'm calling this one aubergine, and I'm calling this one deep copper. I love this colorway. Super, super nice. I have some ideas. I think I may make myself a raglan sweater with this. I think. If you guys have any ideas, please sound off in the comments. I'll show you these colors once more. I love it. And let's see here. 1,280 yards. So we have 2,560 yards of yarn, which is more than enough to make a wearable. That was the goal. I want to make a wearable with these two skeins. All right, so let me see, where's the bag? Here it is. This is the rest of what I picked up at the yarn shop. Let's see here. I have a knit whip bag, and by the way, the yarn store is called Yarn Farm Kingston. So I was in Kingston, New York. Just a simple knit whip bag. Very, very nice. Canvas. Love that. Is that canvas or cotton? It may be cotton. Let me see. Let's check it out. Okay, so it's cotton. So it's an eco bag. And yeah. So certified organic cotton. Very, very nice. ecobags.com. Okay. And it's got the drawstring, which is super nice. If I ever decided to really get on board with knitting socks, this bag would be perfect for my knit whip for socks. Or maybe like a scarf. We'll see. All right. So let's get into what else I found. So in the back corner of the store, I found this little bin that had discount yarns and things, and I found this. It's called Poems from Wisdom Yarns. Look at that beautiful, beautiful colorway there. Absolutely gorgeous. It's 100% wool. And it's 50 grams, 75 ounces. It's 100 meters at 109 yards. I love the way this feels on my hands. Wow. Okay. So they are suggesting a US number 8 knitting needle, 5.0 millimeter. And as far as a hook is concerned, they are suggesting a 5.5 US letter I hook. Very, very nice. And this is made through Universal Yarn, made in Turkey. And let's see here. It's machine washable, lay flat to dry. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that. All right. Next, I picked up 4 skeins of this amazing yarn here. Let me just get them out. Let me sit those there. Okay. One for you and a one for me. Absolutely gorgeous. So this is Jill Draper, Kingston, the colorway name. Let me just make sure here. So, okay, so it's Kingston yarn, JillDraper.com. And the name here is Elmendorf Street. So I think this yarn here is named after the streets in Kingston. So yes, Elmendorf Street. This is a DK weight yarn. It's 100% Targhee wool, 270 yards, 247 meters. It's 4 ounces at 113 grams. And they are suggesting a 3.75 to a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. And as far as knitting needles are concerned, a US number 5 to a US number 7. Very, very nice. And so I picked up 4 of these because I want to make a scarf or shawl, something that's versatile. So I definitely have plans for this. I'm not sure how it's showing up on camera, but it may not be showing what I'm seeing here. On this side of the camera, it's showing more of a raisin purple, and you have bits and bobs of different colorways in there. Super, super nice. I love that. Okay, so and this is their card, Yarn Farm, and that's the storefront there. And they do have outside seating, and it's a really, really nice place. So I spoke with the owners, and the owners explained to me that they get an influx of people during various events throughout the course of the year. So yeah, super excited to have been there and speak with them. And of course I have a sticker here, which is super, super nice. Love that. Wow. Okay. So that is my acquisition. And I have to tell you, all of that is new to me yarn. I've never worked with it before. And this time around, when I said to myself, if I'm going to invest in yarn, right? Because let's just be honest here, this wasn't just a few dollars. I'm not going to leave it sit. I'm going to need to work with it. So I'm going to constantly remind myself to cake this up and get it on to a hook or needles and get to work and get it done. So stay tuned for that. All right. So from here, we're going to jump to the random comment picker. We're going to begin with the replay treats. So we are going to pick our winners from podcast number 99. So we had 2 replay treats. We had hashtag fall for the fall yarn and hashtag blink for the 2 skeins of the 2 hanks of yarn. So I'm going to hop over to the random comment picker, and I'll meet you back here in just a moment. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so at the random comment picker, I have the link installed, I have the boxes checked, and the keyword is fall. We're going to go for the fall yarn first, and we're only looking for one winner. Let's scroll down and grab those comments. How many comments are there? We have 119 comments for the fall yarn. Let's come on over here and click the start button. Good luck, everyone. Donna Christensen, 8147. Juan, the fall yarn is beautiful. I think it would make an awesome fall shawl. So let's arrow over and make sure that Donna Christensen is publicly subscribed to the channel. So just taking a moment to load. All right. Let's scroll down. And I believe Donna Christensen is the first comment here. Okay, let's click on the picture. And it's going to be over here. And Donna Christensen, you are my winner. You are publicly subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Make sure you email me at JuanTheYarnAddict@gmail.com with your contact information so that I can mail out your prize. All right, congratulations once again. And from here, we're going to go back to the random comment picker to select our next winner. 1 second. Okay, so we're back to the random comment picker. I have the link installed, the box is checked, and the word has changed to blink. We're going for one winner, and let's see how many comments we have. Let's see. So we have 57 comments with the word blink. Let's come on over here and choose our winner. Good luck, everyone. Our winner is Sherry Astrahan, 8453. Blink. I would knit 2 hats, one for me and one for my daughter. All right. Let's arrow over to make sure that Sherry Astrahan is publicly subscribed to the channel. She's also a generous donator to the channel. She donates yarn for you guys quite frequently, so it's really nice to see that her name came up here. All right, so let's scroll down. There you go. Let's click on her name there, Sherry Astrahan, and you are my next winner. Congratulations. She's publicly subscribed to the channel. Please make sure that you email me at JuanTheYarnAddict@gmail.com with your contact information so that I can get your prize mailed out to you. Once again, congratulations to you, Sherry, and to both winners. Once again, please make sure that you email me at JuanTheYarnAddict@gmail.com with your contact information. With that, let's jump back into the podcast. Okay, welcome back, everyone. And once again, congratulations to our 2 winners. From here, we're going to jump into the replay treat for episode 100. As I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast episode, we hit a milestone, so it was deserving of a special replay treat. So the replay treat for episode 100 is Expression Fiber Arts. Just one treat. I felt like one was enough in this instance. Some wonderful, wonderful yarn here. So what we're looking at here is 70% superwash merino wool, 10% baby camel, 10% cashmere, 10% mulberry silk. Wow, that's amazing. So what you're looking at right here is 1,750 yards. And the suggestion as far as needles are concerned are US number 3 to a number 5. And as far as the hook is concerned, letter D to a letter F. So I believe it's a 2.75 to a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. Wow. So how do you win the yarn? So it's very simple. Number one, you have to be publicly subscribed to my channel, as all of my giveaways are subscriber appreciation giveaways. So in order for you to verify that you're publicly subscribed, you would go to your settings and then click subscription and then turn the settings to public. So when I do my checks, it will tell me that you're publicly subscribed. If you're not sure how I do this, just watch one of my giveaway videos and you'll see how I verify that you're publicly subscribed. The second thing that you're going to need to do is Tell me which podcast episode was your favorite episode and why. So when I use the random comment picker to select my winner, I'm actually going to go to your comment and check to see what podcast number was your favorite and why it was your favorite. So you have to have those pieces of information there in order to qualify for this. This is a really great replay treat. It was so nice that we're only doing one. And in order to win, you have to give me the number of the podcast episode, and you need to tell me why it was your favorite episode. Okay? So you're going to have to work for this one just a little bit. So that is the replay treat. Again, you're going to need to be publicly subscribed, choose your favorite podcast episode, and tell me why that particular episode was your favorite podcast episode. And then if you have all that information when the random comment picker picks you, then you are my winner. And then you'll have to reach out to me at JuanTheYarnAddict@gmail.com with your contact information so that you can claim your prize. So that is it. All right, so from here we're going to move on to the two pieces of Happy Mail that I have here. There's one piece that I've been sitting on for a little while now. And let's see here. Just going to open it up. We have a card here. Beautiful, beautiful card. It's a thank you card. Kindness is a small gesture that makes a big difference. I agree. And so, let's see. It says, "Hi, Juan. Yes, you can read this out loud if you want. I just wanted to let you know how much I enjoy your channel. A few weeks ago, you mentioned you love dragons. My other half does 3D printing, so when I told him about this, he printed a dragon out for you to enjoy. I've been crocheting and knitting for over 50 years and hope to be able to for many more years to come. I absolutely love watching your videos and lives. It's so relaxing to hang out with you. The last podcast I watched, was full of wonderful things, and I really appreciated all the hyperlinks that were included. So easy to screenshot and come back to later. Still waiting to hear you play the violin. Stay just the way you are. With lots of yarny love, Karen H." Karen, thank you so much for this card. I absolutely love little notes like that. Wow, it becomes the fuel that keeps me going. So thank you so much, Karen, for the card. All right, let's look at this. Wrapped in paper towel. Let's see. Oh, this is gorgeous. What? Look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Wow. And the way that this is constructed and put together, this is beautiful. Beautiful dragon, Karen. Please thank your husband for making this for me, and thank you for thinking enough of me to send me this. This is gorgeous. I love it. Wow. Let's sit that right here for now. I'm going to have to find somewhere special to place that because I don't want anything to happen to it. Wow. Once again, thank you so much, Karen. All right, the next piece of Happy Mail here is a box. I did not open it. I have no idea what's in here. So we're just going to explore together. I do like surprises. So let's see what's in the box. Let's see. Ooh, look at this. This is great. So first we have a book. Kniticisms and Other Pearls of Wisdom. Wow. That is so, so awesome. I love that. I feel like it's a vintage book. The images inside here take me back. Let me see if I can find a date. I usually like looking for dates and things. If I can't find it here, I'll look for it later. So it's copyright 2005. So 20 years and older is considered vintage. So this just hit the mark. A new vintage, like it's a brand new to the vintage category. Super, super nice. Love that. Next we have yarn. Yay, we love yarn. Okay, so let's take a look at all the things. And at the top here, we have 2 skeins of Plymouth yarn, Woolcott yarn. I gotta tell you, it's very soft, and I love, love, love the variegation in this yarn. Super, super nice. Let's see here. So, where are the specs? So this is 69 acrylic, 25 cotton, and 6% wool. Wow. It's 100 grams, approximately 170 yards, made in Turkey, and machine wash, gentle, and tumble dry low. So that's all the information that I have. Let me see here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so as far as the hook is concerned, they are suggesting a 6mm US letter J hook. Very, very nice. Next, we have some Bernat velvet yarn. I just had a bunch in purple. Super nice. So we have velvet yarn. I'll do a 1 for you and a 1 for me. So this is 10.5 ounces at 300 grams. It's 315 yards, 288 meters. It's a bulky 5-weight yarn. And they are suggesting a 6.5mm crochet hook, US letter K. So let's see. And it's hand wash, lay flat to dry. And the first colorway here is called Sandy Cream, and this one here is called Chilled Blue. So natural reaction would be to make a Boggy Creek blanket, but I can't because all Boggy Creek blankets need to be machine washable and dryable. So maybe a pillow, like a throw pillow or something of that sort, or it could be a replay treat or for a share yarn. So stay tuned. I love paying it forward. So maybe you guys will see this yarn in the near future. Who knows? Stay tuned. All right. Next, we have this box right here. I see Premier Puzzle. Oh my goodness. This is so, so good. I love these bags, these clear bags. It's so nice. Okay, wow. Okay. First, we have Knit Picks Flecked yarn. I have to tell you, I absolutely love, love, love this colorway. Look at that. Wow. So, let's see here. So, it's 80% Peruvian Highlands wool, 20% Donegal tweed. It's worsted weight, and it's hand wash, lay flat to dry. And they are suggesting a 5.5 to a 6.5mm crochet hook. So that's a 5.5 to a 6.5 is a US letter I, J, or K. You can use any one of those 3 hooks. Very, very nice. And let's see here. Where can I find? Oh, here it is. So it's 110 yards at 50 grams. Very nice. So those 4 are together there. And next we have Dara Moore's Vintage Chunky Yarn. Wow. So this is 50% merino wool. Let me see here. Do we have a makeup of whatever else is in this yarn? Let's see. 50% merino wool, 50% acrylic. So it's 153 yards, 100 grams, 140 meters approximately. Very, very nice. And let's see, it's machine washable, lay flat to dry, and they are suggesting a 6mm US letter J hook. Wow. Super, super nice. It doesn't have that classification, but to me it's Aran weight. So it's a thicker 4-weight yarn, not quite a 5, but it's a definite Aran weight yarn. Perfect for a hat, like a JTYA basic hat. Perfect. We have another colorway in cream. Very, very nice. And then the same yarn in, looks like a heathered gray. Super, super nice. I love that. Those 4 colorways look amazing together, actually. Yeah, stay tuned for that. I love that. Next, we have some Premier Puzzle. I love this. This is Hangman. This is a great colorway here. The blues and the purples. Wow. So this is 328 yards. This is a bulky 5-weight yarn. It's machine washable and dryable. There are 35 different colorways of the variegated puzzle. And I have to tell you, minus one or two, I absolutely love all of the colorways. I wish I had them all back again, but it takes time to collect 35 different colorways. But nowadays, I feel like I need a purpose to have all of those colorways. Back in the day when I collected the yarn like that, I had no purpose. I just wanted to have it. Nowadays, I don't really hoard the yarn as much. I still hoard, but not as serious, you know. But this is definitely a colorway that's versatile and can be worked up into many different projects. So I'm super happy to have this one. Very nice. Oh, wow. I mean, hanks of yarn next. So we have Madeline Tosh, Glazed Pecan. Wow. Glazed Pecan. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. And this is BFL sock base, 100% blue forced Leicester wool. This is, wow. I just keep saying wow because it's so soft. It's amazing. And the stats on here are super, super small here. It's fingering weight yarn. It's 420 yards, 384 meters. They are suggesting a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. It's hand dyed in Texas from wool ethically sourced in South Africa. Wow. Glazed pecan. And this colorway, Madeline Tosh horoscope yarn. Absolutely gorgeous. So soft and so squish. So actually, machine washable, lay flat to dry is the washing instructions here. And fingering weight yarn again, 420 yards. Same specs, just a different colorway. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that. Blue and purple. And we have some Knit Picks yarn here. I have 2 hanks of the purple. This is Diadem Fingering Weight Amethyst Solid. And it's super, super soft. This here is 50% alpaca, 50% mulberry silk. It's 329 yards at 100 grams. It's fingering weight yarn. And let's see, it's hand wash, lay flat to dry. It's a number 1 weight yarn. And they are suggesting, let's see here, a letter B to a letter E crochet hook. Wow. That's incredibly small. Wow. I just can't stop touching this. This is so soft. All right, next we have 2 hanks of this sparkly blue. It's Uru yarns. Uru yarns. So this is Uru yarn sugared worsted, and the colorway is called Twilight. It's 70% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 10% stellina. Again, it's worsted weight at 219 yards, so it's 200 meters at 100 grams. They are suggesting US number 7 through number 9 knitting needle, which is a 4.5 to a 5.5 crochet hook. And machine wash cold, tumble dry low. Wow. And these yarns are made exclusively, well, were exclusively made for Knit Crate. Knit Crate is no more, so these are pretty rare by all accounts. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful yarn. And I don't really go for like the starry yarn like that, but this is beautiful. Gorgeous. Okay, so I just want to put it out there. Thank you so much to Jerry. Let me see the name on the box just to make sure. No, Joann. Sorry, I thought it was Jerry. So Joann, thank you so much for the gift. This is absolutely amazing. And as I mentioned, I will share with you guys and pay some of this forward. I do like to do that every now and then. So stay tuned for all of the things regarding that. All right. So before I get into the final segment, which is reflections, I just noticed off the corner of my eye that I had a whip here that was lost for a year. I lost it. I looked everywhere, couldn't find it. I mentioned it in my members only live that I found it, and I want to share it with you guys because I want to get it back on the hook and show you guys updates in the next podcast episode. So in the back of my closet, I was cleaning, spring cleaning, right? Of course, we do spring cleaning at the end of summer. I found this canvas bag. So I crochet and have the balls to prove it. So yeah, anyway, I thought this was like another one of my knit whips, which was partially the truth because I found my Loops and Threads Charisma yarn and my knitting needles in here. So I was in the middle of knitting, I think, a scarf. Yes, I was in the middle of knitting a scarf to match a hat that I made in this same colorway with the same knitting needles. But underneath this bag was this. And for those of you guys that don't know, I put a raglan on the hook last year. I got pretty far with it. This is Color Fusion DK weight yarn from Premier Yarns, and the colorway is Antique. And I would have been a lot further with this project, but what happened was I did not have enough of the same lot of the yarn. So I placed my order thinking that it would be close enough. Well, I have the yarn here. This yarn here is the same lot as what I'm currently working with. Okay? When I placed my order for more yarn, this was the colorway that came in. And I have multiple sleeves of this. And as you can see, the yellow is very prominent in these skeins as opposed to here, where you can barely see it. It's right here. So I accidentally, not realizing, just grabbed any old skein and started crocheting with these skeins over here. I noticed how prominent that yellow was, so I frogged it all back and said, you know what, I have to order more until I figure out, you know, if the yellow that comes in the yarn is going to be close enough, you know, because I am too far along with my raglan to frog any of it back. So the yellow does not stand out here at all. So anyway, the suggestion back then was to just color control, like just put bits and bobs of this skein with your work and then hop over to the old skein and then go back and forth and just, you know, go spread it out, so to speak. The problem with that is if I start to spread it out at this point, it's going to look very weird because I only have the bottom ribbing to do and my sleeves, and I need to close up the neck. So anyway, I placed another order for yarn and I wound up getting yet another lot number. And this yellow, it's loud, it's prominent, but not as much as this one. So ultimately the decision that I made was I'm going to use what yarn that I have and just snip out the yellow of the newer skeins, and I'll leave the yellow in of the old skeins that I have. So I have two skeins of the old colorway. I have two of these. It may be enough to do my sleeves, but we shall see. Case in point, when you go to crochet a project, please make sure that you have enough yarn to complete your project, or else you wind up in the same boat as me. So yes, this is a lesson that I have learned since last year. I don't like playing yarn chicken, especially when it comes to lot numbers and things. So I have a tendency of over ordering just to make sure that everything I have is the same lot number. So there's that. I'm glad I'm able to show you that, because with the next podcast episode coming up, I'm going to show you my update as far as that. And I worked this up with a 5mm dots hook. So it's so strange that I remember that. Okay, so we are going to jump into the last segment of the podcast, and that is reflections. So I'm super excited that we are here. To sit here and have the ability to say that we have recorded 100 podcast episodes for me is huge, because when I first started my podcast episodes, I didn't think that I would get this far. I thought to myself at some point I would just morph it into something else and just change and adapt with the channel. But it became the one constant thing that has finally reached 100 podcast episodes. And boy, have we come a long way. I recently went back to watch my earlier podcast episodes, and I had no idea what I was doing. This doesn't come with a manual. You have to literally come on here and learn from your mistakes and just promise yourself that you're going to do better next time. And I have been doing that every single time that I sit in front of this camera. I pick myself apart. I try to do better. It began with a lot of ums. I had to clean up my diction. I had to figure out how to speak more clearly and how to come across in a way that made sense to me when I watched it back. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose myself in that process. So it's been a really long journey. Some of the challenges I still work with every day. I'm still trying to overcome some of those challenges. One of the biggest challenges for me when recording my podcast episodes, even to this very day, to this very episode, are my intros. So I've spoken about it many times. It's literally trying to come across in a way that lets everybody know that, hey, this is podcast time. This isn't, just one of the usual lives. Like, I want to be able to come on here and have that one constant show that when you put my podcast on, you're coming here to see what has been going on in the world of Juan the Yarn Addict and have it laid out in a way that is structured, consistent, concise, and professional. And that's the one thing that I want to continue to strive to improve upon. I just want to have a very clean slate and flowy podcast. And so I'm working on it, and I'm going to continue to strive to do better. And going forward to the future, I think what I'm going to do is to just continue to be myself and continue to put out the best that I can put out for myself and for those who watch me. I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed to have the platform that I have. I don't take it for granted, and I can't be more thankful that I have the following that I have, and it continues to grow. So I just want to send a huge thank you to each and every one of you guys for watching my podcast episodes and for your well wishes and your blessings and your positive words of encouragement, because each and every one of you guys who have done those things are greatly appreciated. It's just the fuel that I need to continue going, because as I just mentioned, this does not come with a manual. There are no rules to this per se in terms of how to do it the right way the first time. You have to sort of figure it out as you go. So we're here, podcast episode 100, and I'm super happy to say that we have finally finished episode 100. I have been trying to record this episode all week long, and we are here finally at long last at the very end. So with that, thank you all so much for giving me this opportunity to share my love of the craft with you guys. And I look forward to many, many more podcast episodes to come. So with that, that is the end of podcast number 100. And until next time, you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.